I've had a printing session where the machine jammed every 3 prints because the machine just couldn't handle the paper that I got. I've had ink that wouldn't lay down consistently. I have spent real money and real studio time learning what works and what doesn't when it comes to paper for risograph printing. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what I've tried, what went wrong, and exactly what paper I would recommend, and why the studio default paper exists for a reason. Before I get into the specifics, here's the one thing you need to understand about riso and paper. Riso uses a soy-based ink. It's not toner, it's not a weird pigment, it is an oil-based ink that gets pressed through a stencil and onto the paper. And then that ink needs to absorb into the paper fibers in order to dry. And that's why coated paper is a big problem. Coated paper has a sealed surface, so the ink has nowhere to go. It sits on top, it smears, it smudges. It is a complete mess. Uncoated paper, however, lets the ink sink in. And that's exactly what you want. The second thing that Riso cares about is paper weight. The machine feeds the paper mechanically. It grabs the sheets of paper with these little rubber rollers, pulls it through, and deposits the ink one layer at a time. So if your paper is too thick, the machine either can't grab it or it'll jam mid-feed. If your paper is too thin, then the paper can't handle the moisture from the ink, especially if you're using big blocks of solid ink coverage. And the paper can buckle and become a sticky mess. At Outlet PDX, where I print, Riso printing works on paper from about 20-pound bond paper all the way up to 110-pound cover paper. And that range is wider than people might expect. But the uncoated rule is an absolute. So with that in mind, here is what I have tried. This is what Outlet PDX uses as their standard stock. It has a vellum finish, meaning that it's slightly textured and not completely smooth. And it's a text weight paper, meaning that it's on the thinner side of the range. And it feels like really high quality office paper. It is not luxurious, but it is really practical. So when I started printing here, I accepted this paper without really even thinking about it because it worked every time and I didn't have to stop in the middle of my print. The ink covered consistently and the prints dried correctly. I took all of that for granted because eventually I wanted to use fancier paper. Accent Opaque is digital printing paper. It's a lot heavier than the Nina Exact vellum paper that I had used before, and it has a noticeably different feel in your hand. It's more substantial, it has a lot less texture, but it is more premium. I really wanted my Curiosity print to feel heavy and luxurious in your hand, and for a few prints, it was pretty interesting. And the first few prints had this really cool quality to them. The blue layer was especially doing something that I had never seen before on the Nina stock. But here's the problem. We had to stop every 3 prints to clear the machine. The ink coverage was inconsistent, and some prints came out really great, and other prints came out really patchy and just wrong. And I couldn't predict which one I would get. I was on the clock, and I couldn't work with a machine that was jamming every 3 prints. So I switched back to the Nina mid-session, and the inconsistency stopped immediately. And I have not used Accent Opaque ever since. I have also tried printing on something closer to chipboard. It is a lot thicker than cardstock, and it's a lot more like packaging material. The machine didn't take it at all. And I know that some Riso machines can handle unusual materials like sticker sheets, label paper, envelopes, paper bags, but chipboard is not in that category, at least not at Outlet. The machine just refused. Let me know in the comments if you've ever printed on anything other than regular sheets of paper, or like this video if it is helpful at all. So my suggestion is if you want to experiment with non-standard paper materials, ask the studio first. They know their machines best and they probably already tried it. So, back to the boring answer. Nina Exact Vellum 67-pound text paper. This is my recommendation. It's practical and it's relatively affordable compared to other specialty papers. Also, it's available in a few different colors if you want to experiment. But here's what I want you to actually think about when you are choosing your paper. This one catches people off guard. White and cream may look similar, but when your print lands on that cream paper versus a bright white paper, it looks like a completely different image. Cream papers warm everything up, so your yellow colors will get warmer. and your blue and darker colors will get slightly muted. And any white areas in your design, so any unprinted areas, will become slightly warmer and softer. Typical bright white papers are cooler and much more neutral, so the colors read differently. The same print on white and cream papers can look completely different. Outlet PDX stocks paper in a range of colors, not just white and cream, but pink, green, blue, goldenrod, and more. So when you're choosing paper, think about the color of your paper as a design decision, not just a materials decision. I don't care how beautiful the paper feels. If it's coated, if it has a sealed or glossy surface, it will not work. So you should just walk away. I completely understand wanting thicker and more substantial paper for your prints, and I still want that. But if you're going to experiment with heavier stock, ask your studio first if they have successfully run that paper through their machines. Different risograph printers have different tolerances and different preferences. At Outlet, their machines tell you pretty quickly if the paper won't work. Outlet has a full page on their website where they go through the different papers that they carry. They stock options from a few different paper families, including Domtar Lettermark for affordability and for color variety, Mohawk VF for a smoother, heavier option, Nina Astro Brights for more vivid, colored papers, and French paper is their premium option in case you want to splurge. All of these papers are uncoated, and all of these papers have been tested inside a riso printer. Here's the honest version of this whole video. The default paper at your riso studio is the default for a reason. It works. Someone tested it. Someone ran hundreds of sheets through the machine and confirmed that it doesn't jam, the inks absorb properly, and the colors land consistently. Wanting something more luxurious is completely understandable. And I still feel that every time I hold the Nina paper in my hands, I wish it was a little thicker. But every expensive paper mistake that I have made has cost me time, studio hours, money, and some genuinely stressful studio experiences. In a printing process where the machine has so many opinions about so many different things, the ink, the master, the humidity, reliable paper is actually a gift. So my suggestion is let the paper be boring and let your print shine. If you are preparing for your first risograph printing session and you want to make sure that you have everything sorted out before you go, not just the paper, but the files, your layers, your color separations, I put together a free riso file checklist that covers all of it. The link to that is in the description below. And if you want to see what the exact printing process is like, a full day at Outlet PDX, and what can go right and wrong during your printing session, watch this video here next. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!